Hello survivors, and welcome to another video. In today's video, we have the brand new update, and the first thing you're going to see is a new UI change that is on the right hand side over here. As you can see, the Pyromancer, we can activate or deactivate certain things about the character. So we can deactivate character stats, weapon stats, our central skill tree, or the big outer skill tree as well. We've got our Ascension, which we can deactivate or activate, and Ruins. So that's really cool, because there are some times where I wish I just had the Ascension so I could show how powerful it was, and we didn't have things like Ruins or the character skill tree or whatever the case may be. But that's a really fun one. Or the other way around, where we got the skill tree but we don't use the Ascension because we don't want to actually activate it. So if we're playing, let's say, on the Elementalist, and we don't want things, we don't want the poison, the cold, or the fire, and all that stuff, you can now actually go and deactivate his Ascension, and it's going to get less passives into your skill, into your passive pool. So it doesn't bloat the passive pool as much if you deactivate his Ascension. So things like that really do become helpful if you hate walking into the Chaos Walkers totems. If they keep killing you, you can also then deactivate that, and that's going to help you. One of the speaking of the Chaos Walker, one of the updates did actually make it so that you're going to collide a little bit less with the altars. They did make it that the altars are a bit smaller with their collision hitbox, so hopefully that does feel a lot better now. Now, one of the other changes that did come is a big change to summons. There are only a couple of them that have it, and it makes sense. So like the summons like the Plagued Rats and Bunnies don't have it. It's a new trait called Cunning. The reason they don't get it is because they actually just run up to anything and explode, so they don't focus a specific enemy. Something like the Skeletal Mages, because they have a big AoE, don't get the Cunning. But if you look at like the Skeletal Archers, you can see there's the new trait Cunning. What it does is that the summoned units will now prioritize valuable targets, such as elite enemies and the Lords of the Void. So if you're always like, you hated summons because they refuse to hit the enemies that you want them to, so the bosses or the elites, now they will focus those enemies. So things like the Putrid Hounds, the Skeletal Archers, Skeletal Warriors, even the Totems now all focus on the actual bosses and elites when they spawn, which is really good. So we are going to demonstrate that in today's video. But before we actually we will, and then in the future we're going to show you some of the artifact powers that came with the update. That would be the Barbarian and the Sentinel. Both of them did get their artifact powers. The Sentinels is called Arrow Barrage, and the Barbarians is called Warcry. So really cool that they both got theirs. I do believe Little Birdie has told me that the artifact power for the first 14 characters is actually done and dusted. They just haven't implemented it in the game because they're trying to see if it's the right choice or not. So we'll see that. I'm trying to get a little bit of a spoiler here and there for one or two of them that I really enjoy, but my Little Birdie isn't talking. Now, the biggest update for the actual game right now is going to be why we've got this green achievement over here, and that is because if you've reached level 50 prestige with 5 characters, you unlock the new area called the Unholy Cathedral. Now, if you click on Start, like I did over there on Fight, as you can see, we've got the Void Fields, which is our usual. And then if we look over here on the left-hand side, we can now click on the Unholy Cathedral. Now, what that does is it brings us to this menu. On this menu, you're originally going to start off on the Ritual of Sin. So you have to do this one first. You then have to do the Ritual of Hate. And then we get the Ritual of Heresy, which actually has multiple different levels. The amount of levels it goes up to is infinite. It's all about a challenge, and each time the number increases, you gain increased Soulstones as well as prestige. So it's very possible, if it doesn't become very difficult to complete, that this may be the new prestige farm. So if we can get over 600 without it being too difficult, then it's worth prestige farming here. because it might be a lot quicker. But anyway, that's a whole nother story for another day. So let's get into it. We're going to be doing the 0-1. Actually, we'll do a 1, and I'm going to show you the brand new summons. I didn't actually check my runes and all that. There is something to speak about over here. It's a bit of a weird one. So the way that this works, and I don't think I really actually spoke about it, so we've got that. I don't want to run Gambler. We do want to run the summons. So we're going to just go and remove Gambler over here. That's a bit of an interesting one to play with, but we're not going to do it. We'll just go Weapon Expert. As you can see, I'm running Crit Mastery, Vulnerable Target, Divine Legacy, and Multicast Mastery. You can run whatever runes. This is just to show you how the actual new Unholy Cathedral works. So over here, there's map properties. It says, venture into the Unholy Cathedral to disrupt dark rituals, fight against servants of an ancient evil, and master the techniques of each void hunter in the process. So you have to defeat 4 challenges to face off against the heretic. All of your powers and skills are removed after each challenge. All active skills are then banished for the rest of the match and cannot be picked again. Each ritual is harder than the last, but also provides greater rewards. So that means if you go and do like the +1 and so on and so forth. So let's go onto the Necromancer and do this and see where it takes us. We're going to start off with the Skeletal Warriors. Like it said in the properties of the map, every time we go and we complete a round, it is going to go and, you know, kind of get rid of all of our skills. But there is something really cool. There is a new sound that came, so there is new music. So I do want to just go and increase that just a little bit for us, so that we can actually hear it, because there is some really cool music going on over there. So we already got people from the speedrunning community looking at the best runes and best skills to kind of speedrun this content. Already it is disgusting. It just got released and they already looking at speedrunning it, which is actually pretty cool because it brings in these optimized you know, skills and things like that. We want to look for skills that we don't want to keep for the next round. I hardly ever use Chaotic Explosion, so we're going to go and grab that. And then it doesn't really matter what skill effect you get in the very beginning. Everything you get does reset on the next level. So right now it's all about going and killing them. But as you can see, the Skeletal Warriors are all focused on the bosses. So that is one of the big changes for it, which is really cool. I do wonder if the Ascension for the Necromancer did get Cunning as well. That is something that doesn't look like they did, so it doesn't look like it, but that would be something interesting. Maybe it was an oversight, or maybe that's something we could maybe ask the developers to think about as well, because that might make a very big difference to the Ascension for the Necromancer as well. So if the actual Abominations had Cunning as well, that would make them all that a little bit more powerful, and I think people would enjoy the Necromancer a little bit more than what they currently are doing. On the topic of this game mode, it is a game mode, so you don't have to play it. It's just something different for a lot of people, and I know that some people aren't going to be happy with it. They don't really like how it plays or what you have to do for it and so on and so forth. So, you know, it's an optional thing. You don't have to play it. It's just a really cool, a new fresh thing that the game has brought out. So, you know, there is that. We're going to take Poison Bolt over here. I'm just trying to kind of stay away from certain skills that I know I'm going to be using at a later stage. Of course, you can reroll. Grabbing yourself reroll mastery or something like that is also a really good one. Even grabbing the dash, you know, you don't get to keep it. You'll see that we land up going back to 2 dashes afterwards. So some skill points like arm and block really aren't that helpful in this, because you're wasting a lot of damage trying to get those things. Alright, we've got the last 2 bosses over here. So in the corner over there, you can see the time it's taken. Excuse me. And then the 7 out of 9 bosses that we've killed. And once we've killed all the bosses, we go on to the next challenge. and that's going to be when all of our skills reset. We start off with 6 skill points, and if you're playing with Gambler, if you use the 6 skill points right away, it actually goes and gives you all of them right away. So you get 6 random skills. It is really a fun little thing. And as you can see, when I'm leveling up, we're right at the end, so it really doesn't matter to me. I just grabbed whatever because I knew it was going to be over. One thing though, as you can see, it actually gives a whack ton of materials for a very short period of time. So, you know, we're quite good there. Now, every time we enter a new challenge, we get these brand new passives. These passives do carry over from area to area. So in this case, we've got Touch of Vulgarity, which gives us increased damage. That's a 40% multiplicative damage. So we're currently on 80%. If we grab that, we go to 120% pretty much. And that's really, really strong. Again, we're going to keep the archers in that for our final fight. So we're going to go with some ice over there. We can grab the Death Claw. The Chaos Golem can also go. I think we'll keep Magic Missile and Arcane for the final one as well. So grabbing that. Chaos Bolt's a pretty good one to get now with Bloodlust, and then I don't have any Doom, so we won't go with the Shadow. We'll go with the Arcane Disc. So really bad combination of skills over here. Although I say that, they are probably going to be relatively strong actually. Just because right now the bosses don't have a lot of life, so as you can see, we are able to kill them relatively quickly, and we still got the poison from our ascension, so we will be able to kind of go and use that to our advantage. I do love those laser beam enemies, pretty cool. Who doesn't like a good laser? Alright, I need some more of our ascension just so we can get more poison out over there. Kill Alfred the Fallen. Interesting fact, I don't know if you guys know this, but each one of the bosses is actually named after someone in the development team or something to do with the developers. The only one who we've never really been able to be like, oh, this is definitely this developer, is the Prophetess. There is actually a Discord post about it. Unfortunately, the devs have sworn silence and they refuse to answer and tell us who Prophetess is named after. The Catheus, maybe it's a significant other to one of the devs, or an inspirational person, or, you know, we can go and guess as much as we want. I don't think anyone will really get the answer, but you know, something interesting. There is a brand new boss fight. That is why I bring this up. And if you do take note of the boss's name, you should be able to note one of the devs and who it is named after. So, you know, just a pretty funny one. Just a bit of trivia, you know, about the game that you may not have known. Alright, so we've only got 3 bosses left. I forgot that I'm actually supposed to, you know, put points into my character. So we've been sitting here accumulating skill points the whole time without actually using them. It just shows you that some skills are really strong in the beginning. But do remember that this is going to get a lot harder, a lot faster. Just like kind of going into your overlord cycles and things like that. So you do have to keep that in mind when you get to the final challenge. Everything's going to have a lot more life, so you do not want to not spend your level ups. Alright, we finished that. Let's go on. We got another 6 levels. We got ourselves increased damage and cast frequency, but we lose life. We could go for the movement speed. That could be pretty good for our when we get our minions. I think for now, I mean, I really want to do this. I'm going to do it. Why not? Alright, this round we can go with Ice. Ice and Poison will be fine, so we'll grab that. I'm going to keep you. We'll go Avalanche. We will go for, what else can we have here? We got a Blizzard over there, Acid Rain, and we can go for the pestilence as well. So we'll do some poison, and the next round we'll go for the skeletal mages, the skeletal archers, whatever other skeletons, whatever other ones we can get going, and try and work from there. But you can see those multiplicative bonuses that we get after every round. That damage is really coming in handy. We just got to kind of keep ourselves safe. We could go and run laugh. I mean, it's only going to be for one round, so it doesn't really help where our laugh stays at that amount the entire time now. So it's just more about being careful and dodging everything as opposed to that. Something else I didn't speak about is there were huge performance changes. They're a bit difficult to explain and everything because I'm not the one who does the coding and all that. So just read up on it. It's not really much. I mean, if you've been watching the GameSmithing's devlog updates and things like that, you'll notice that they showed differences, like an old way that the game would have looked versus new and things like that, and just how they're working on the improvements. Obviously, they haven't been able to put absolutely every single improvement into the game yet because it takes a bit of time, but the fact that they do care about the improvement and making sure that we have the smoothest, silkiest experience in the game is something to really be happy about and excited about. So just something else that maybe you didn't know or weren't aware of. The developers are working really hard to make the game look good and feel good for absolutely everyone, even everyone playing it on the Steam Deck and things like that. So I really think that is awesome. And just to have a devlog coming from a roguelike team like this, where they're putting a lot of passion and effort into it, is something we don't really see often in the gaming industry as much anymore. So, getting it from indie devs is just really awesome. Alright, that round went really quickly, so we are on the final round. We are on 3 out of 4, so now we're going to go through and we're going to grab ourselves one more thing. What do we get? We're going to go with area. We are going to be grabbing ourselves the skeletal mages, so area will be good. Going to grab ourselves them frenzied bunnies. What should we go? I think Shadow Orb is good because of the disoriented. We can grab Shadow Bolt for the maybe, I don't know. We wanted Magic Missile and Putrid Hounds. That's perfectly fine. And now we just got to go and get Poison. So now the skills or the actives that every time we level up, these points are going to be very important towards our character and getting all that much stronger. Well, one thing to note is you haven't seen the Void Presence. The Void Presence is not active in this. I haven't gone very far. You can see I'm already only on +1. So it is possible that the Void Presence will be seen at a later stage. But right now there is no Void Presence for us, so we don't have to worry about minions dying or anything like that. So really cool. Grab that poison there so that the Putrid Hounds get a good boost in their damage there. We don't need the Doom. Increase their damage. More poison again. Cast frequencies. We can go poison to Doom. That works fine. Relentless. A little bit of disarray as well would be good. I'm not getting laugh. I would have liked to have seen a laugh or two, but we didn't really pick any of it up. And then you can definitely see the damage difference between these minions and everything else we played with the Necromancer now. And also just look at the laugh of the bosses now compared to what it was earlier, and you'll notice just how the DPS difference. We'll be able to check it at the very end of the round as well. Not that I've been putting anything specific into, upgrades or anything like that, but this time I've gone a little bit slower on what it is that I want to pick up, and that's going to obviously help. Alright, last boss before the surprise. Let's take a look. We've killed everything, we get our +2, and now we get the final boss fight. We finally get to fight it and welcome Matthias the Heretic. So Matthias, I think it's Matthias or Matthias, I'm not 100% sure, but someone can correct me down in the comment section. So we are wrecking his face. not even gonna get to show you guys all of his attacks. So Necromancer is a very, very strong contender over here. But something I like to do while trying this game mode out is I've actually been playing a lot of Gambler, where I don't really get to select my skills and I'm going to try and work with it and go from there. But that was it. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Let me show you what the skill screen looks like over here. So if we go to details, it actually shows you every single one of them. So something interesting over there, look at the DPS number of like Putrid Hound compared to absolutely every single skill. Look, it does make a difference because we had different passives. We also had the debilitating plague doing more damage than the skills themselves in the second round. But one of the things is it doesn't actually show us the options that we picked that increased our damage and things like that. So obviously the further you go into it, into the round, the last round, you are going to be a lot stronger because of the multiplicative upgrades that you pick, so that does make a big difference to your damage. But obviously my last pick of choice was a lot stronger than everything else. But I hope you all enjoyed the video. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this in the future. And always remember, keep safe, survivors. Until next time, cheers.